Hello kids, welcome back. Hope you all are fine. So, already we have started the first unit, right? So, what is your first reading? That is the attitude is altitude. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about this lesson. Attitude is altitude. I'll show you the page, whatever I'm explaining you, and I'll explain you each and every line. Okay, and hope you have written the new words and glossary of this lesson. Yes or no? After completing the lesson, we will start our vocabulary, question answers, and grammar, whatever we have there. Okay, kids? So let's start the topic. If you are not able to understand, pause that. Once again, watch. Okay, once again, go through the video. Okay, kids? Let's start.
So kids, let's start today's topic, that is attitude is altitude. So as I said, your attitude is nothing but this is the way of thinking or the way of behaving, and altitude is the peak point. So here attitude is altitude. The meaning is what? If our attitude is good, then we can get whatever we want in your life, and that attitude should be your altitude or peak point so that you can be successful in any of the things you want. Okay, so let's start the reading. So listen carefully. The first paragraph is: imagine having no arms to stretch in the morning to help you scratch that itch. So what is the meaning here? Imagine having no arms. So just you imagine that if you don't have your arms, what will happen? Can you imagine that? In the morning, you cannot stretch your arms if you don't have your arms, right? And to help you scratch that itch, if your any of the body part is itching, if you don't have your arms, then you imagine that you will not be able to itch in that part. Yes or no? And to allow you to wrap your arms around your loved ones. So with your arms, what you do? So you just hug. Wrap means hug, okay? Hug your beloved ones, right? Your mother, your father, your brother. You hug. So if you don't have your arms, can you hug? No, right? Similarly, imagine having no legs to kick pebbles down the street, to walk or run, to bicycle or skateboard. What is the meaning here? Again, you have to imagine that you don't have your legs. So normally, whenever we are walking on the road, if you see any of the pebbles, okay, stones or anything, you just kick with your legs, right? But if you don't have your legs, what will happen? Can you kick that? No. Can you walk? No. Can you run? No. Can you bicycle? Not. There is no question of that. And skateboard, you have to forget about the skateboard, right? Or get you from point A to B. A to B means from one place to another place. So without legs, can you go? No, right? So that's what you have to imagine. Then imagine both at once. That means you don't have your legs and you don't have your arms. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine a person who is having no legs and no arms? Yes, kids, which is what Nick Vujicic has faced his whole life. That means what? The person named Nick Vujicic did not had arms and did not have his legs also. Okay. So have you heard something like this before? Maybe. In ninth class, we studied about Michael Stone. He was blind, but still he achieved success and he was a pole vaulter. Yes or no? You know about him. But here, this person don't have his hands, legs, anything. You can see in the picture here. Okay. So today we will read about this person here in this chapter. Attitude is altitude. How with these disabilities he still managed everything and he became a winner in life. Okay, kids? So moving to the next paragraph. Now in the next paragraph you can see that Nick Vujicic was born with no arms or legs. Okay, so the person named Nick Vujicic was born with no arms and legs. But he doesn't let the details stop him. So here details means the disabilities. So he doesn't let the disabilities to stop him to achieve the success whatever now he got. Okay, the brave 26-year-old who is mainly torso plays football and golf, swims and surfs despite having no limbs. See what is written about him. So now it's written 26 years old, so now he might be some 33, 34 years old. Okay, so the person is mainly torso means the person who don't have legs or arms are called as your torso. Okay, he can play football, he plays football and golf, he can swim and he can surf also despite having no limbs. Can you imagine that? How he was able to do that? Okay, so moving to the next line, Nick has a small foot on his left hip which helps him balance and enables him to kick. You can see here in the picture under there one small foot is there. Are you able to see that? Okay, because of that he can balance. Okay, and because of that only he uses his one foot to type. Okay, write with a pen and pick things up between his toes using that small foot whatever he have. Using that foot he can hold a pen. Okay, and he can pick things up between his toes. See how difficult the life is, right? Now moving to the next paragraph, I call it my chicken drumstick, joked Nick, who was born in Melbourne, Australia. Okay, so he's born in Melbourne, Australia, and whatever that foot is there, right? That small foot, he called that chicken drumstick. So chicken drumstick, you eat that, right? So that's what he used to tell jokingly that particular foot, small foot, right? So that's why he used to call jokingly as a chicken drumstick. Okay. And what he born in Australia but now lives in Los Angeles. I would be lost without it. So without that chicken drumstick or the little foot, he would have not achieved whatever he has achieved this. Okay, means small things he will not be able to do without this chicken drumstick, whatever he called. That is the small foot. Okay, that's why he has told here, I would be lost without it. If you can't get a miracle, become one, Nick Vujicic. That means if you don't have any miracle or if you don't have any of the special qualities, that means you become one, Nick Vujicic says. Okay. Now, due to his faith as an evangelical Christian, Nick has chosen to remain a virgin until marriage, although he has had long-term girlfriends in the past. Okay, this is about his personal life, and he is a what? Evangelical Christian. Okay, so that's why he chosen to remain a virgin. Virgin means not having any relation before marriage. She is called as virgin. Okay, so but still he had some long-term girlfriends in the past. Next, he is very modest, but he gets marriage proposals from women all the time. That means modest means simple. Okay, he is very simple, but still he gets marriage proposals from women all the time, said Nick's friend and publicist Steve Apple from Los Angeles. That means his near and dear tell that he is very simple, but still he gets marriage proposals from women all the time. Okay, now moving to the next line, he would love to get married and start a family, but he is waiting for a right girl to come along. So he is dear and near friends, whoever family and friends they have, they are telling that he would love to get married. That means he will have a marriage and start a family, but he is waiting for the right girl to come along. Okay. Water sports aren't Nick's only thing. He also plays golf with a club tucked under his chin and is a huge fan of the English Premier League. So here you can see that not only surfing and swimming, that means not only the water sports Nick is interested. Nick Vujicic is also interested in golf and your English Premier League, football, etc. also. Okay. So English Premier League means related to your football. Okay. So Indian IPL we have, similarly EPL. So EPL is related to football. So he is not only interested in water sports, he is also interested in golf and football also. Okay. His parents decided not to send him to special school, a decision he said was very hard for him, but which may have been the best decision they could have made for him. So that meaning is what? So Nick's parents decided not to send him to a special school. So special schools are there for disabled persons, right? But they decided not to send Nick to that special school and they wanted to send him to a normal school where normal students like us read. Okay. So a decision he said was very hard for him. Yes or no? Yes. But which may have been the best decision they could have made for him. But whatever the credit he gives to his parents saying that, yes, that decision was correct for him. Okay. Now when Nick was born, his father was so shocked that he left the hospital room to vomit. Can you imagine a baby without arms and without legs? Okay. So his own father was really started vomiting after seeing his body. Only muscles, no hands and no legs. Imagine that. His distraught mother couldn't bring herself to hold him until he was 4 months old. Distraught means disturbed. Okay, disturbed. Mother could not bring herself to hold him until he was 4 months old. So normally the mother will be waiting when the particular kid will be coming out and she will hold. But here the opposite happened. Till Nick was 4 months, she did not dare to hold him also. Can you imagine that? Now, when Nick was okay, that's done. His disability came without any medical explanation. That means there was no explanation also for that medical, whatever the disability he had. A rare occurrence called phocomelia. Okay, whatever the disabilities he had, that is called as phocomelia. And Nick and his parents spent many years asking why this cruel trick would happen to them. Okay, so Nick and his parents were asking to the medical persons why this cruel trick happened to them. Okay, so many days they spent asking that. My mother was a nurse and she did everything right during pregnancy. Okay, so Nick adds his mother was a nurse, and as a nurse she know what to do and what not to do during pregnancy, right? But still she still blamed herself because after taking care and after taking everything during pregnancy, but still she had a baby like this with a disease called phocomelia. It was very hard to digest, right? So that's why she always blamed herself. It was so hard for them, but right from the start, they did their best to make me independent. So now Nick says that it was very hard for the parents and for Nick also. But from the beginning, they made Nick so that he will be more independent, right? Now my dad put me in the water at 18 months and gave the courage to learn how to swim. So at the age of 18 months, his dad put him in water so that he will learn swimming. Okay, I also got really into football and skateboarding. I totally love the English Premier League. So as I said you, that is related to your EPL, that is a football. Okay, related to football. Now Nick's father was a computer programmer and accountant, and he taught his little son how to type with his toe at just 6 years old. Okay, so a normal kid also nowadays they are doing. Nowadays they are doing, but in our age, that means when I was kid, we never went near to, and we did not had also that, right? But his father taught that kid, 6-year-old Nick, how to type with his little toe that we discussed earlier. That was the chicken drumstick, right? Yes. His mom invented a special plastic device that meant he could hold a pen and pencil. That means his mother also helped him by finding a device through which plastic device, okay, with which he can hold a pen or pencil. So imagine the creativity of the parents, how they helped him to be independent at the early age. So, despite the risk of bullying, his parents insisted Nick attend mainstream school. That means bullying means somebody saying wrong, right? Kids bully, right? So that's bullying. So his parents insisted Nick to attend the mainstream school. Mainstream school means normal school, okay? Not a special school. It was the best decision they could have made for me, adds Nick. So Nick is supporting whatever the decisions his parents took to send him to a normal school. That was the best, he is saying or supporting, okay. Now, who later achieved a degree in financial planning and real estate, okay. It was very hard, but it gave me independence. So after completing degree, he felt independent, okay. Now Nick, who was teased and bullied, had an electric wheelchair for mobility. Mobility means moving from one place to another place. He had a wheelchair, electric wheelchair, and a team of carers to help him. That means some helpers were also there with Nick. I was deeply depressed when I was 8 years old, he said. I went to my mom crying and told her I wanted to kill myself. That shows that Nick was also depressed at some stage of his life. But he was managed everything. Okay. Now I felt cold and bitter. I hated God for doing this to me and was terrified of what would happen when my parents weren't there to look after me. He was very much worried if his parents are not there with him, what will happen to him? Okay, and there was a stage he blamed God also why he made Nick like this. Okay, now I could brush my own teeth with a wall mounted brush and wash my own hair with pump action soap. Okay, all the things were automatic, like brush mounted on the wall. Just he has to take that and he had to move his teeth like that, then that will be cleaned. Okay, similarly, so some automatic washing machine was there to wash his hair. Okay, pump action soap, that is. Now, but there was so much that was impossible for me. Nick says that only some of the things were managed, but so many things were there that I cannot do, Nick says. Okay, so this is all about Nick. In the next video, we will discuss more about Nick. Okay, so in the next class, we will complete this particular lesson, attitude is altitude. Okay, so if you are not able to understand, once again go through the video. Okay, so you also read the particular lesson till how much we have completed till this page 4 last we have completed, right? So try to read this one. Okay, next we will move to the next part in the next video.